DJI Pocket 3, but annoyingly, if I want to use that as a webcam and plug that into the PC, then there's not a free USB slot to plug the wireless microphone into, because it's one that uses a USB-C connector to then, you know, like do your audio with. So it's not one that sort of, you know, work via Bluetooth or whatever. So probably should have got a Bluetooth one, but oh well. This will probably work on a few things. So anyway, I will just get all the stream interface up on the PC. Hopefully this stream won't get taken down partway through by YouTube like the last one. It was near the end anyway, but apparently there was something to do with guns on a live stream they didn't like. So we're going to be careful what we talk about on today's one. Because, yeah, apparently YouTube got funny about not anything to do with the stab vest and the knife, but to do with briefly turning the camera and the muzzle of a Diak gun showing up. And therefore that was enough for YouTube to say, oh no, we're taking your stream down. So I don't want to get any strikes or anything. So we're just going to be, what about it, Greyman? I showed it last stream. So yeah, with this one, we're going to be careful what we talk about just because of YouTube policy. I've got a Yugoslav M1. Yeah, not a very good mask. As I've said about it before, it's the M2 is actually pretty good, but the M1, the problem is it's made from that rubber. No, right. So the one that's the British Army MTP one, that's in postage, and I've also ordered, like I said, an actual proper IFAK set, because obviously the Army ones don't contain anything. You have to set up yourself. FM12 is better, even though I like the S10 for retro reasons more. So yeah, hopefully this microphone is working properly. You can confirm in the things if it is or not, because like I said, I can't actually hear my own stream. So but yeah, this should be at least better audio than if I did use the phone's inbuilt mic. Good, that's good, right. So yeah, anything I film now with a phone or whatever, I am going to just now do with the little mic, just so it's better audio quality. This was a set that came with two. Well, Simon, a thing that's happened in a few places already that could easily happen again is if you have a truck or like a train derailment where, you know, they're carrying whatever sort of chemicals, a truck crashes or a train derails like they had in that place, was it in Ohio, where you then get like all the horrible chemicals spill out. That would definitely need a respirator. Obviously, I'll be careful with the words I use on YouTube after the last stream got taken down, but anything with the T word, you know, a bit of snack barring going on potentially, that could result in chemicals being released. She happened not to do with snack barring, but on the Tokyo subway, where there was a cult that did that before. So yeah, you know, there are things that could happen that could need it. I don't think it's going to be a case of, you know, a big government war that would require it. Although saying that, also, if you live near volcanoes or anything like that, it's a good thing to have, all to do with forest fires and pollution. Obviously, like I said, if you're in a place, and all right, Rich, if I didn't say hello already, if you're in a place where obviously you need to evacuate and there's no oxygen, then the mask isn't going to do much. But if you're downwind of a forest fire, a mask and a respirator, you know, the filter helps a lot more than nothing. Interesting, Saint, didn't even hear about that. So one thing I had that arrived today, though, I'll do a video on this at some point, quite cool, is a little Swiss Army compass from the like 1950s. So it's got a mirror behind to reflect more light through it. And then yeah, it's I did check, it's not a radium one. But yeah, it does turn the same direction as my other compass that I thought I put on the table here somewhere. Yeah, the British Army map reading one. Although when I say British Army, it's actually made by a Swedish company when I look them up. Silver. But yeah, if I hold both of those up at hopefully the same angle, you'll see that both of the compasses are pretty much the same orientation. Well, that one isn't now. It's weird. It was just now when I was looking at it. Yeah, they're both. There's something around here that's magnetically affecting them, because just now they were both the same, and then they moved. Right, are they both at the same angle again now? All right, that's typical. As soon as I try and show it on camera, something magnetizes it and it fucks up the orientation. But as soon as I hold it like this, both of them, they both go to the exact same angle. Just try it at a distance, see if you can see that. But no, again, I think the only problem with this Swiss one is I think it seems a lot more dependent on you holding it at a set angle, as in not the magnetism, but you know, like the like, does it jam if you Like, yeah, it's one that works pretty well when it's flat, but it's not as good if you hold it up, this one. So, yeah, that isn't as good about this one, but, yeah, otherwise it does seem alright for that. But I just bought out of a curiosity little, thing. What fatigue is real, Simon? Oh, but we've got a spammer in the stream, so I'll ban them anyway. That's the only problem when you do ones that aren't people that need to be subscribed for a while. You get all the people on. Oh yeah, and don't forget to like and subscribe, because apparently I forgot to say that on my latest video, but apparently that does get more people on. But yeah, this one's pretty good anyway. The silver one. Like I said, if I face that way should be east. That way should be north, which it's correctly showing. That way is east. That way is west. But yeah, same. But yeah, I do like these sort of little map compass ones. But then this is just going to be something I end up probably carrying with me a lot. I have got a really good compass on my phone, actually. My smartwatch has a compass, but that's one where first I had a magnetic strap that fucked it up, where it would constantly give wrong readings because there was a magnetic clasp on the strap. Now I've got a strap that's not magnetic. It works better, but it's still one that sometimes seems to go a bit janky. Oh, C5B hood. Let me look that up. I think you said CBS hood earlier, like the Thing channel. Oh, so it's there's an article. So what people with a beard can wear it. There's barely any things coming up when I search it, but yeah, there's a Canadian thing. So yeah, I'm assuming it's just positive pressure, is it, or does it seal around your neck somehow? And I'm assuming Canada is doing that because lots of Indians, like Hindus and Sikhs, are now in Canada, so they want something where they can say, join the army and you don't have to shave your beard off. But I can barely find anything out about that thing. Yeah, members who have beards, long hair, headdresses, or uniquely shaped faces. So yeah, again, I can't really see from here, but it means it's going to attach somewhere around your neck, isn't it? Again, that looks cool, but again, it does seem a bit of a weird reason to do it. Like, oh no, people won't actually have a proper shave, so they need this weird mask. Can you get arrested for wearing a mask in public? Depends what you're doing. If you're holding up a bank or whatever, yes. If you were wearing a mask just because you felt like wearing a mask, you shouldn't be arrested. But, you know, I'm sure some Karen would call the police on you. Yeah, I'm in the UK. No, that one on the wall, if you're looking at the white one, that is, it's a bit like a cold weather mask, but completely different materials. That's a Soviet PTM1, and that's a weird, basically, like, it's like a mask just for fallout. It only protects you from particulates, but it was one that was designed so people could, like, babushkas could knit, babushkas or whatever, could knit them at home. So it was like one of those masks that, although it was made on a big scale, I think it was like, comrade, you'll have 5-year plan to knit this many masks. So grandma's going to gulag unless she knits enough. So it's, like I said, it's a weird one in that regard. Because it's, I don't think they were factory produced. I think it was a case that, you know, like crates of the stuff was delivered to tenement blocks. They had to be made to a certain standard or grandma went to gulag. Yeah, Simon, I don't know, but yeah. Again, I do know there are sometimes people that do have again, because the thing is with most masks is the masks that you have in, like, normally, like, say, Britain are kind of for, like, Anglo-Saxon Celtic faces. And then, again, sometimes the Chinese masks are a bit different shaped. Because I got called racist for saying that, by the way, but it is a true thing that, in general, a country makes a mask that fits the majority of the population's face. Let's not talk about militias, just because, like I said, not that there's anything I can't talk about in the UK about it, but when last YouTube stream I did got taken down because we were talking about firearms too much and YouTube didn't like it. So yeah, I'm just going to be careful what I do on this one, because like I said last time, everything was going swimmingly until it wasn't, because for some reason YouTube just decided to take it down. So if you haven't seen my video today, go watch it after the stream. It was showing like the Kevlar and the stab proof panels, how they work. But yeah, with the stab proof vests, like I said, you have just shitloads of these panels in them. And how they work is obviously when they're all together, something that goes through the first panel loses energy. Then if it pens the second panel, it loses even more energy. Yeah, because you need a stab vest in the UK now, basically. So more and more people in the UK are going, oh, I ought to get a stab vest. What, the PTM1 saying? I think the reason they didn't end up in such mass production, the PTM1, is simply because of the fact that, you know, because they were making the proper military masks anyway on such a scale, they ended up becoming a bit useless and pointless. Again, got another weirdo in the thing, so I'll just get rid of them. But yeah, I'm delighted you're gooning to me. But yeah, I think with the PTM1, it was simply a case that probably they were made for a bit in the 1950s, and then, you know, in the early 60s when the GP5 went into stupidly big mass production, it was kind of probably pointless just making them anymore. Yeah, Kevin, because I think because we talked a bit too much about funds, YouTube didn't like us talking about funds and ended the stream. Again, maybe the muzzle of something turned up at one point when I moved the camera around, but again, it's just how bad YouTube's got now, where you can't have anything resembling a fun on a live stream. Reasonable price for an FM12. If you're in the UK, you can normally still get them for about £60. Yeah, Greyman just said Prepper's Shop does them for £65. Sometimes eBay sellers have them between about 40 and 60. Cinema Phil says, yo, bro, how are you? Hello. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Other than all my normal health complaints, I'm not too bad. But yeah, just to show you these. And again, this is going to be a knife I'm showing YouTube, not a fun, so it shouldn't have an issue. So yeah, obviously a single one of these panels isn't stab proof, but it's still actually pretty knife resistant, if you see that. And then obviously when you have multiples of these in a layer, again, I'm going to be careful. I'm not going to stab my hand out. I'm doing this just so you know. Yeah, as you can see, again, horrible from the what do you call it? No, the horrible Kevlar kind of panel-y stuff. But yeah, I've got a spike and a hammer coming tomorrow, so we can do some spike tests on these. But yeah, in comparison, if you didn't see the video earlier, actual Kevlar panels like that, way less stab protection. So yeah, actual Kevlar, that's the reason, like I said, Kevlar isn't stab resistant. It's still better than a lot of clothing is, but it isn't actually knife resistant Kevlar, because it's like I said, how the weave and that works. It's kind of like the wrong kind of grain. Yeah, as we said before, if you get a bag or whatever, backpack or a messenger bag, you can tape together the magazines in, stab proof panels, chopping boards, and then you can use it as a shield. Yeah. Well, again, on a table in here, I'm not going to like I said, not going to stab all the table to pieces and whatever. But with yeah, exactly as Rich said, one sheet is the same as multiple Kevlar panels. And again, you have like a dozen or so of those. I think most vests are apparently 12 to 24 layers in most vests. So yeah. But like I said, what I'm going to do probably tomorrow, assuming my ice pick comes at a reasonable time of day, is get a chopping board, get those panels on it, and do, you know, tests either with the knife going into it or, you know, a spike and a hammer. So, all right, Robson Motos, so we can do a test of, you know, how good these things are under the worst possible circumstances. Because like I said, in reality, your body moves away from a knife, unlike a chopping board, and somebody isn't going to get a really good, you know, up like that or hammer and do that to you. Whereas, like I said, that at least gives you an indication of how well some of these things work. But like I said, the problem is that, you know, like people are saying that, yes, it's possible if you are wearing a stab vest, somebody is going to go for your throat or somewhere else. But, you know, the whole point is you fight back or you run. You don't actually just let them go for you. Yeah, I've done some ones like that as well in the past, saying that, yeah, like I said, what I was going to say, though, is like, yeah, that the main thing I've got coming is a proper ice pick now and a rubber mallet. Although I think we have some somewhere, you know, just so I can do a demonstration of, you know, how knife resistant doesn't mean spike resistant potentially. Strap says bottle of water. What's the Plenty advert, Rich? I don't even know what it is, or I don't off the top of my head. But yeah, nobody over here, Anorak, actually talks like that, even though you seem to claim they do. Well, maybe there is some sort of regional accent where people say bottle of water, but I'd say bottle of water. So again, it's I put an R in water, just that's regionally how I do it, even though I know it's water, you know. But yeah, but I've never actually heard somebody say bottle of water in real life like that. Just, you know, how all Americans don't really sound like cowboys. Do they, Channing? But again. But anyway, yeah, so like I said, tomorrow, hopefully, if the ice pick comes at a good time, I'll do a video with the ice pick as well as some other knives on that. If not, I'll do one like I was doing on the stream, but I won't do on today's stream just in case YouTube takes it down because it's a live stream, not you know, a video because if you do a regular video and upload it, YouTube knows that something bad hasn't happened to you to upload that video, so they don't put the same kind of restrictions on as a stream. So I'll get the stab vest one and do stabs on myself wearing a stab vest to prove it works. Should do comedy. I'm not really a comedy channel, unfortunately. But yeah, but like I said, like I said, I think it is getting more and more necessary to get a vest. I wonder if anybody's actually, how many people have clicked on the I'm just going to log on to my thing and see how many people have actually clicked through and looked at those vests I put the links to in the description. Because the good thing with like the eBay partner thing, if I do affiliate links, is I don't think it shows me per individual link, but I can see just in general, you know, how many people have clicked on the thing. So yeah, over the last couple of days, I have had 704 clicks, and yeah, somebody has bought £65 worth of things. So I guess that's 1 or 2 stab vests that I linked to have sold. Yeah, and that's an average of about 200 clicks a day by the look of it. So yeah, people are clicking those. Actually, I'm just going to have a look at those ones I showed in that video and see if any of them are out of stock yet. If so, I'll try and get some new links on there. I did those on today's video as well, those same ones. Like I said, where I just had a quick look on eBay and found sellers I knew that were legit sellers for stab vests. As I said, the annoying thing with the eBay affiliate links is I don't think there's a way you can easily just see, think, right, so one of them is still in small and mediums. The next one, like I said, if any of them are completely sold out, I'll delete the links and find some fresh ones. One of the others is completely sold out. This item is out of stock, so I'll remove that link now, and I'll do it on the other video in a second. And this other one's still in stock. So yeah, I need to delete the middle one on the other video as well. But like I said, at the moment, stab vests are selling out stupidly fast with some of the sellers. Just because and the YouTube chat has broken again. Right, let me do pop-out chat and see if it works. Otherwise, I have to close the chat and reopen it. Oh, there we go. What Channing is in, just because it's probably because there's no Ecols or Turkish ones on the market anymore, and most people probably aren't going to stock the Italian ones simply because of the fact that the government keeps having a hard-on for randomly banning them. Yeah, again, brand new is obviously the best, Channing. Just the problem is obviously that most people, I don't think, can afford to budget for that. And like I said, the second-hand stuff generally isn't bad at all if it's been looked after. It's just a case, obviously, you get more peace of mind with something brand new and you can get it in your exact sizes. Where if you're buying second-hand, you just have to keep waiting for a listing to come in of a size close enough to yours. Because you'll see on most of the listings of body armor, the sizes that are left in stock after the main ones are sold out are the really short people ones or the really tall people ones, you know, or the really thin people, the really fat people ones, if that makes sense of dimensions. like the more medium, the average size ones are always the ones that sell out fast. You can easily find brand new, unless you're in a weird country, Retrowave, but you can easily get brand new ballistic armor for 300, especially if you buy from those Chinese companies that the American companies then rebrand as their own products. Like, is it Militech, the like quite legit Chinese ballistic plate manufacturer that I know gets bought and then rebranded in a lot of countries? But you know, literally a lot of countries get their shit and then rebrand it. What, like the old videos of knights grappling each other, Kevin? I think quite a lot of criminals apparently do wear stab vests now, but again, if they get jumped by another gang, they're just going to get their heads essentially hacked off, aren't they? Or you know, get sewing machined with a knife in so many of their various body parts that a vest's going to do fuck all. Okay, Taco, ask the question, then don't say I want to ask a question, then not ask a question. What's that? The ballistic plate? Yeah, again, Channing, it's hard to say because it depends if something hits the same part of the armor, or you know, again, it depends what material the armor's made out of. Does the shot hit the same bit of the armor? If it's a steel plate, you can just get unlucky with structural stress where one of the little bits, you know, shatters. I mean, the really cheap AliExpress vests, say, all the ones I've seen are literally not cardboard in. They literally do have a very thin layer of metal. Well, with pizza, you normally get more variety of flavors. But I do like hamburgers. But the problem for me, where I've got ulcerative colitis and that can flare up, is sometimes I like with both of them. If there's too much gluten in one go, that can upset my stomach. And again, like a really good hamburger is probably my choice over a really good pizza. But I do like with pizzas, obviously, that they. But again, I think out of my favourite, where there used to be a place near me that did really good like gourmet pizzas and burgers, I think burgers were still my favourite out of the two. Again, I need to find some that are actually good, but most of the wrist things I've seen for sale are the ones that are designed if you're working in a place and just using knives so you don't accidentally cut yourself on a sharp bit of like porcelain or whatever, you know, or broken glass. They're not the stuff that will actually stop something penetrating through. Why do some people wear what? Gas mask is fine for airsoft if it's one that's actually got plastics and that on it, like polycarbonate lenses that aren't going to crack. But most people don't know better. But yeah, in terms of like wrist and hand guards, I've not found anything yet that would be like a lightweight, comfortable to wear thing that would actually penetrate, you know, stop the knife penetrating it. Okay, Taco, I wouldn't recommend that, as I have to say, because I'm on YouTube and don't want to get in trouble. But if that's your way of relaxing, then I guess so be it. Then you'll get arrested, Rob, for being Islamophobic by the government because of the way this country is. You've upset a certain community in our country with your right-wing thuggery. So I am going to send you to prison, and I will let out some grapists and other similar criminals at the same time, because clearly the sex offenders deserve to be on the streets, but people who have wrong opinions deserve to be locked up. That's what our dear leader Keir will say. Yeah, I've seen the ones that are like Avon M50 looking things that are just basically a bit of hard plastic that's designed to look like an M50. The dogs I used to walk, the person doesn't live near me, so I don't walk those anymore. I mean, yeah, if you could wear riot gloves under a sleeve, like you said, and that would actually be stab resistant. But I think if you wanted to armor up your sleeve, there'd probably be a way of getting just like a couple of these. Let's just try this. Again, these sleeves aren't really long enough. But I reckon there would be a way. It's quite hard to do this while I'm wearing it. Be much easier with a proper jacket. Yeah, I'm going to struggle to do this on camera, but So I reckon there would be a way you could probably put one of these under a jacket if it's the right kind of sleeve, have that wrapped around, and your arm would still be kind of flexible with this, because that bit of your arm isn't going to move anyway. And then that's going to obviously protect you from somebody slashing and stabbing at your arm there. You're still going to get quite bruised up if somebody hits it with enough strength. But like I said, you could certainly cut Kevlar panel type thing, not Kevlar, but you know what I mean, stab resistant panels to something that would resemble your arm if you had a big enough one. Yeah, exactly. Velcro it or some other little button type thing on it, so you can just take it on and off easily. But yeah, you could, like I said, on more of a proper jacket, you could probably secure that in the arm of it, you know, like that or whatever, and then you've got at least have one angle of your arm. And I guess which hazmat suit you bought, Stalker? The Soviet OZK that smells horrible. That would work, especially like the Irish style shillelagh sticks would definitely be good if you know, somebody tried to ventilate your torso. Oh, what? Stuck Farmer. Yeah, fuck stuff. Yeah, I call him Kia Stalin, normally is my name for him. There's another name with queer at the start that I sometimes call him as well, but I don't want to be seen as homophobic, so I won't say that one on YouTube. I'll have to watch that video, Saint, because again, with a lot of Mike's videos, I've either seen them ages ago and forgotten them, or YouTube doesn't recommend them me. Oh, you can turn this into a funnel quite easily for funneling your like, you know. Yeah, I don't want to get any of that kind of fibrous shit down me. Right, yeah. You right-wing fug. Yes, the Yellow Pages and the Argos catalogues used to be handy, Channing. And Channing says, there's nothing right-wing about loving your people and culture, it's natural. Wow, I'm afraid I'm going to have you put away, and then David Lammy can let out some other people. Because, you know, we want all the nonces on the street, but people with wrong opinions in prison. But yeah, the fucking state of this country is quite amazing with how quickly, like it was really bad and getting worse under the Tories, but it's amazing in just a year what Labour have managed to do. You know, in terms of letting the nonces out and violent criminals out, you know, locking people up for speech even faster than before. My OZK suit smells like just some horrible rubber smell, like somebody thrown tires into like the septic tank. It's really weird. It's like one of those smells that isn't necessarily horrible, it's just really, really overpowering. That's what the modern NBC suits are like, though, Rob's Motos, the ones with charcoal impregnation in them. Yeah, so you've, like you said, Saint, I'm being completely serious here. So you have like a Christmas event for kids, and they're having to put the anti-car, anti-truck things in place, so a vehicle of peace doesn't get driven in, like we've seen in lots of Christmas markets. You're probably going to have armed police everywhere in actual. I have to watch that one. I've seen his videos before because he's sometimes on like news programs, isn't he? Field champion. But yeah, like I was saying, yeah, and you probably have to have fucking armed police everywhere because of the reality now of you know, the culture we live in. You know, I imagine it'll be the same if any Jews have Hanukkah or whatever on. They'll need lots of protection because we all know that they're a target of a certain group. And again, there was that really sad video the other day, wasn't there, of that old 100-year-old bloke on the news, or whatever it was, Good Morning Britain or whatever, where he said, you know, he doesn't think it was worth fighting for this country in World War II, you know, what it's turned into now. You know, where he was saying we have less freedoms now than they did in the 40s. Because, yeah, we've got a totalitarian shithole government that hates this country that, yeah, that's pretty cool though, Rob Smotos, yeah. And then there's that bloke, is he like, oh, what do you mean by that? Trying to bait him into saying something racist or whatever. No, but this country has just turned into a fucking shithole. That, you know, very little personal rights now. The government constantly bans more and more things, you know. Started with the guns and everything, but now it's buy one, get one free on sugary drinks and whatever else. And yeah, just, you know, and I bet they'll be coming for more and more things. You won't be able to say things. They'll eventually stop you voting because they're already in certain seats again trying to stop local elections and whatever else. Because if Labour don't think they're going to win that election, well, they won't have an election now, will they? Yeah, again, it's like when you've seen Keir Starmer trying to bait a woman into saying something racist when she was asking him about grooming gangs. He's going, "Oh, I don't know what you mean." It's like, you fucking do, you little weasel. Sadiq, did I say Keir Starmer or Sadiq Khan? But Sadiq Khan's the one I'm on about. If you've seen that video where he's asked about the grooming gangs thing, and he's going, "Oh, I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. What exactly is it you mean by that?" It's just a slow decline, Saint. In all honesty, like again, I'm sure most of us had quite happy childhoods. So you know, in the 90s, you know, and we didn't have the internet to see a lot of this stuff going on. But yeah, but again, if you talk to older people, they still talk about stuff they were allowed to do as kids that, you know, now is completely banned. Yeah, Sadiq cunt is what I call him. Yeah, I suppose retreat without turning your back too quickly and getting cut in the back or whatever. Yeah, yeah, narco tyranny. Yeah, because actual proper hardened criminals get away with shit, or at least do for quite a while, and then get quite weak prison sentences or whatever. But saying the wrong thing online or whatever gets you in trouble. So again, you'd get in more trouble carrying something to defend yourself in this country, probably, than somebody goes on a mass stabbing rampage. You know. Oh Christ, yeah. But hey ho, only another 4 years of this lot we've currently got, or whatever it is, 3 or 4 years of them. You know, assuming that the government doesn't collapse sooner and we get an election. But you know, like I said, they're definitely trying to gerrymander it, aren't they? Where you know, certain places, if they think they're going to vote reform, oh, I can't have an election this year because we've changed the rules. Yeah, my dad used to talk about how when he was in the Scouts, they had used to have big like wood chopping knives on them or whatever, and nobody cared because you know they were Scouts with their knives. You know, all that sort of thing. That you know, that kind of stuff. But yeah, yeah, pepper spray should definitely be legal. Because again, if a criminal wants to spray you with something, they could just get pepper spray illegally, or they'll spray oven cleaner or something in your face that will permanently blind and disfigure you. But having something that is relatively safe and regulated, oh no, can't have that. And again, but this is the thing, you know, they've in this country they started off banning semi-auto rifles and handguns, and then they just keep shifting the goalposts of what you shouldn't be allowed. So yeah, there we go. But yeah, so if this microphone works well, I will make sure that I use it in more videos. I think it's meant to have about 8-hour battery life when it's fully charged, but because Amazon came quite late today. No, pepper spray is not legal in Britain. Tasers are not legal in Britain. Any sort of stun gun is not legal in Britain. The only thing like pepper spray that's legal in Britain is criminal identifier like farb gel. Just the Saint was saying. Yeah, I'll have to get some at some point, Saint, and actually spray it on my hand and see how hard it is to wash off. But yeah, farb gel is specifically not meant to hurt your eyes or whatever. I can believe that, Demetrius, if that's how your name's pronounced. Sorry, that yeah. Because again, when I used to work in retail, that was a lot more customer facing. If you got a violent customer, that was generally what would happen. You know, where you weren't really sure should you retreat behind somewhere. You know, you knew you weren't meant to punch them. Should you just say, "Oh, here's your refund, now fuck off"? But why did they outlaw pepper spray? Because again, they don't trust people with it. Because again, this is a nanny state. It's one of those things where the government takes more and more of your rights away. Because oh, you'd be safer without those rights. Just like you know, like they're doing all this online safety acts and that. Oh, we can't trust parents to actually make sure their kids don't look at bad stuff online or not give their kids smartphones. So let's just make everything hard for adults to access. I'll just remove that comment, not because I'm having to go at you, Demetrius, but again, we have to be really careful what we say on here. But yes, like I said, there's lots of shit that, like I was saying, lots of stuff that, like I was saying, that if pepper spray is illegal, people might use instead of pepper spray that's worse for everybody. Yeah, and I bet back in the day as well, that's all right, it's just because what YouTube's like and all that sort of stuff, I need to be careful. But again, like I bet back in the day, you could have an air rifle on your back or whatever, or a shotgun going to somewhere to shoot and nobody would care, because they'd know that, you know, if you're openly displaying it like that, you weren't doing it to intimidate somebody, you were doing it because you were going somewhere to shoot. Brianna Morningstar says, hiya. Hello. I won't be on too much longer, by the way. I know I've only been on about 30 odd minutes, but yeah, I've got stuff to do and I haven't had dinner yet. So yeah, tomorrow, all being well, there'll be one of the videos on testing those panels. Those do keep their shape a bit, looking at that. So yeah, they would actually be all right if you stitch these into a coat or whatever, I reckon. Because again, same with things like this. If you had them bent to the shape of just a regular fleece or whatever, that's not as big as an actual stab vest, but you'd at least be able to get some protective layers in there. So, well, out of all the ones I know, the American Mickey Mouse mask, just because it's horrifying. Yeah, modern British winter loadout. Yeah, where you have to get. I doubt you can buy them as a civilian, sadly, but you'd have to be able to buy those. What do you call them? Like, you know, the throw down things that burst the vehicle tires that you'd have to put all around you in case a Macabre of Peace turns up. I think One Stop Cop Shop is one of the ones I've been linking to on eBay for some of the stab vests and that. Yeah, caltrops, they're probably illegal. You'd have to get those tic-tac-toe sort of throwable things instead. Yeah, you have to have enough layers, and it's also a case, like I was saying, is if you want it to be more concealable, then you have to. But yeah, like I was saying to people, if you actually go on eBay, you can still buy the panels for stab vests, and you don't need to actually, if you're getting them out to do stuff with them, you don't really need them in your size, the panel, so you can get the panels, you know, and then cut them into squares or whatever. So like I said, this is from a bigger panel. I just cut a load out to do some videos on, because the other half of the panel was burnt where I tested the laser on it. A thing a bit like that is in what was it called? Tales of the Unexpected or something like that, the old Roald Dahl TV series, where, spoilers, the woman beats her cheating husband to death with a frozen leg of lamb, then puts it in the oven, and then when Brian Blessed, who's the policeman, comes over, she gives him while they're investigating the meat, saying she doesn't want it to go to waste, so they eat the evidence. What about the M50? I think in a comment, if you're replying to it, didn't show up for me. Yeah, far right. There's Kevin. There's a company that actually makes self-defense umbrellas that are like umbrellas that are a really tough material that are hard to slash or stab through for the rainproof bit, and they're like really strong, kind of like, you know, like walking stick kind of bits in the umbrella. So, you know, you can use it to, you know, in the right circumstances, beat somebody with the umbrella, or use it to kind of shove them like that. Oh, the M50, yes, because it's external cheek filters, yes. Like the GSR's the same, but like I said, I'm not a massive fan of GSR. It's just never comfortable on my face. Yeah, FM53s are expensive, but like I said, for me, I don't really need an FM53. Oh, the Kevlar shit just sticks to you non-stop. It's from, I imagine it is a bit like asbestos, the Kevlar-y stuff, just because of, like I said, how fine the fibers are when it blows around a bit. I like the look of the M10M, but I'm not a massive fan of it in reality. There's a lot of masks like that. I like the look of them, doesn't mean they're good when you're wearing them. But yeah, so yeah, on a rainy day or a day it looks overcast, you could at least get away with that. I suppose an umbrella like that you could always have in your car boot as well, because you might have it in your car boot in case it does rain. So it's not like having a baseball bat or something in your car boot for no reason. But yeah, I mean, well, in my car when I used to drive, I used to have one of those really good strong glass breakers, and I on purposely kept it by the driver's door, because obviously if you're in an accident and you're stuck in your seatbelt, this had like, you know, a glass breaker on it, had a seatbelt cutter and all that stuff. So it made sense to you know, have it in the doorway bit, you know. But then again, if somebody attacked you, you did have like a hammer with a glass breaker on the ends that, you know, you could defend yourself with. But that wasn't why I kept it there. I kept it there literally because it was a glass breaker and seatbelt cutter. All right, Rajiv and Mike. Oh, that's good, Mike. Just hit 50k subs. Congratulations. Yeah, what was I going to say? Can't remember now. But yeah, there's probably a load of other things like those umbrellas as well that can be used for different sort of situations. But yeah, like I said to people, I'll do some videos on them again. But the really bright flashlights of the good metal frames that have the strobe mode, that are getting cheaper and cheaper now for various models, are always good to have on you. Because especially in the winter, I like having a torch on me. Just because if I'm crossing the road in the dark, I feel a lot safer having a bright flashlight on me, where you know, the beam's coming out from you, so somebody at a distance, if they're driving, can actually see a light crossing the road, than if you're in the dark. Because sometimes, you know, you get twats that even when it's properly dark out, if you're in an area without many street lights, still drive out their lights on. Well, Greyman said, weird question for you. If you're far away from a nuclear attack decision, depends if fallout lands on you or not. So if you have a Geiger counter or whatever, and it doesn't go off, then you should be completely all right. Because again, you'd know if fallout has gotten on to you more by a Geiger counter than actual ash coming down or whatever. Yeah, because like I said, there's one that always in the winter I take to work and back with me. Because if I'm not getting a lift, like I said, there's a couple of roads I have to cross that barely have any street lighting, and a lot of the time the cars come down that road faster than the speed limit. And sometimes, you know, if it's only just been dark for the last hour, some of the drivers don't have their fucking lights on. So I always have a bright torch because of that reason. And I can also see if I'm going to step in a big puddle or like, you know, whatever else, or a load of mud, and then, you know, walk around it. Whereas if you do it in the dark, quite often I've got my socks wet because there'll be like a big pothole you can't really tell. And it's, you know, so you think you're going to stand in a puddle that deep, and you stand in one that deep because they don't fucking repair the roads. Ruin is making some sort of self-evident comment. That's kind of almost like an AI thing. Define a weapon then. You're not allowed weapons in the UK. You need a license. The best cheap counter, like the best of the cheap counters I've reviewed that I'd actually recommend to people, is that GMC one. Let me look up the name of it again. It is this one, because again, it's under £100. There you go. Let me get the tab back open. Oh, URL is too fucking long for YouTube. Of course it is. Let me try and cut the URL down. Because again, I absolutely hate that with so many things now, that the URL was like 300 characters long. Let me just see if I can shorten this URL and still have the URL work. Right, yeah, there we go. So this thing, out of all of the ones you can buy easily, this is probably the best one. Again, like radio codes are good, but they're not strictly a Geiger counter if you wanted a Geiger counter. This thing is like a general purpose Geiger counter that's got decent battery life, you know, is quite responsive. Yeah, you can get some things, can't you, that look a bit like glasses, but they've got like a really bright IR light on them. So if a camera looks at you, it's kind of just like a blinding light coming out, but regular people can't see it. Does Home Depot sell Geiger counters? I'm going to have a look on Home Depot's website. Again, we don't get Home Depot here, but I'm just going to search Home Depot because I can't get on their website. Home Depot Geiger counter. Reed's instrument portable radiation meter. I think Home Depot blocks the UK, funnily enough, probably because of the what you call it, stupid Online Safety Act. Let's search the name of the one they actually sell on their site. Read instruments, and then see what it looks like. But yeah, that looks like an alpha, beta, gamma one, so that actually looks pretty good. I don't know if their price is a good price for it, but Home Depot. So I have to say Home Depot. Gonna go to Home Depot and Walmart. What's that weird one they've got with like a beaver or a chipmunk's face or something in the US that's just like, apparently it's just a food store, but it's like the size of a fucking supermarket for just a food store. I think they only have it in Texas or something, but it might be moving to more states. But I saw a really cringy video where it's like they're just fucking opening at the start of the day and you've got all the Americans like pouring in like it's fucking Black Friday somewhere just to buy their fucking snacks or burgers or whatever it is. I've already been on holiday, so I'm not on holiday anytime soon. But like I said, the C50 is my go-to mask now for any kind of thing. Buc-ee's, right. Let's have a look at Buc-ee's. Yeah, that's the one. It's just because they do their name with the weird fucking thing in it. I didn't know it was Buc-ee's. So yeah, what the fuck is Buc-ee's then? Oh, there's the soy-faced little people going with their fucking whatever they bought from Buc-ee's. I'll read it in American voice. Ever since our inception in 1982, we have been committed to providing a clean, friendly, and in-stock experience for our customers. Regardless of where you may find us, if you're in a store, it's big or small, near or far, the mission remains the same. But what the fuck is Buc-ee's? Is it just literally like... Oh, so it's Buc-ee's Holdings, Inc., commonly referred to Buc-ee's, is an American chain of country stores, gas stations, electric vehicle chargers. How do these things have anything to do with each other? Is it just like a huge service station then? Yeah, so it's literally what, like a garage petrol station kind of thing, but it's fucking huge. Wow, they have one place with 120 gas pumps in one location. Yeah, I keep forgetting just how big everything in America is. You call that a petrol station? A gasoline station? This is a gasoline station. It's got 120 pumps. I don't know if Buc-ee's sell guns. Woo-wee, as Rajiv says, yeah. Broken sword. What's Sonic? It's not the Hedgehog. So yeah, but yeah, that just to me is just weird that you've got like just a petrol station on steroids. That, you know, it's like, oh, rather than it being like 6 to 8 pumps or whatever, and a little thing with liquor and you know, some sweets and whatever else, it's like, here's a giant fucking petrol station that's the size of a supermarket with 120 pumps outside. See, again, that's the sort of thing I'd like to go to in the US, because again, I do really want to go to the US at some point, especially in a much more gun-friendly states. But yeah, it's just, again, affording it and everything else. Which lunatics in Birmingham? There's been quite a lot, Rajiv. Do you mean the ones that don't like the juice? And because the juice team were playing football, they were talking about putting the baseball bats in your cars and getting rid of the juice. Was it those ones? The ones that, you know, are of the snack bar persuasion. Was it those ones, Rajiv? Oh, yeah, and launching the fireworks at the police and all that sort of stuff. And also, a random woman got stabbed in Birmingham the other day. I don't know if she's still alive or if she died because she was waiting at a bus stop, and apparently just waiting at a bus stop's a way to get stabbed now in this country. Of course, I didn't. I did see a thing about that on the Telegraph, though. Oh, yeah, I also saw, yeah, a black man and probably a Pakistani gentleman having a machete fight. but their fighting was really bad. They couldn't even riposte or anything like that. So yeah, basically how they fought. I will use my 1796 saber as a stand-in. Was they sort of went like this, like they were doing some sort of chaka dance. They didn't actually use the proper length of it to thrust, and so it looked like this kind of weird ritual where they were going. But what do I know of all these diverse foreign cultures we've imported? Maybe that's how they do it in their country. But yeah, like I said, if you got something at least with a sharp point, you actually step forward and thrust like that because it gives you more reach. And the only bit of you that's exposed is your right arm, or your left arm if you're left-handed. I haven't heard of this one, or is this somewhere else? So yeah, it's just what Kevin. So it's just like we're saying, a gas station on steroids. Like yeah, it's just like huge because everything's bigger in America. But anyway, I will be off fairly soon because I want to get some food. Oh, the one I saw was a nighttime clip, so this is even a different clip as well. Or are you on about the woman being stabbed? It was during the day. Yeah, well, the architect, Pierce Brosnan, would like that. He likes them big. C50 can't show you because, like I said, it's in my bug out armor. So again, that's the whole point. It doesn't randomly sit in this room because it's on the armor that is, if shit came down and I had like 2 minutes or something to get the body armor on, and I don't mean just a little stab one, I mean the one with the ballistic plates in, it's attached to that because I can then, I've got a mask with me with my armor. Chicken sausage. I do actually like that kind of meat sausage stuff. Meat sausage. What's the name of it? I'm trying to think of what the name is. It's like that kind of mystery meat that's made from like poultry and pork, I think it is. Sometimes it's got beef in it as well. It's kind of like the really cheap meat, but I actually don't mind that. Where it's like a load of various meats just ground together into kind of a sausage meat type thing. No, I'm not thinking of spam. This stuff is like maybe it is called turkey sausage. I don't know. Hang on. But the ones coming up over here are like quite high quality things, which isn't what I mean. It's a bit like I like liver sausage because liver sausage is quite nice, or it's just like offal and some spices and whatever. They have chicken sausages in Germany. That's quite a. When I was in Germany, loads of places did chicken sausage, not pork sausage. Uh, Armor Rob, I've done a video on it. It's the Hawk Vest or whatever it's called, the Canine Hawk Vest with its original panels in, and then I've got one of the panels is a ceramic plate that's somewhere between level 3 and 4, as in better than level 3, doesn't quite meet all the criteria of a level 4 plate. And I've got a level 4 ultra high molecular weight polyethylene plate in it as well. Oh, I really like liver. Just like I like Mr. Brain's pork word that will get me in trouble if I say it because Americans have a different word for this thing. But the pork things that start with F, that are a bit like meatballs, but they're made from ground up liver and heart and all that with a bit of normal pork in them. That if you look up the brand, it's called Mr. Brain's Pork Fat Ots. So yeah, but it's just one of those words that whenever you say it, Americans think you're being a homophobe. But over here, it just means a load of minced up shit. But yeah, then they have that kind of slightly spicy gravy of them, which is quite nice. What do they call it? Like Cumbria sauce or something like that. Something like that they call them, which is quite good. It's just like, yeah, like a slightly more interesting tasting gravy. Oh, minced up. Oh. Mr. Military, are you talking to me? I was never in the military, Rayman. Anyway, I will be off, like I said, in a minute because I'm meant to be going and that. And I need to get some dinner because I'm hungry and haven't eaten yet. Yes, the NATO designation for the MiG-15, yeah. I thought it was the MiG-21. No, that's Fishbed, isn't it, the MiG-21? Yeah, MiG-15 then, yes. But yes. Yeah, thank you. Not in the meantime, Grey Man. And again, most people in this country say they wouldn't fight for this country now because it's turned into such a shithole. They might fight for the country, but not for the government. That, you know. So it depends totally what kind of war it was. But cheers. So yeah, tomorrow, if I get a chance to film it, again, it depending on what comes at what time on delivery, there'll either be a video demonstrating the stab vest actually wearing it, or there'll be a video demonstrating the ice pick and that against the panels. But if the ice pick doesn't come in time, then I'll have to just do the one with the body armor. Yeah, fight for the people and the actual nation itself, not the government and their values. Yes. Haggis, I don't have any haggis, but haggis isn't too dissimilar from the pork things we were on about. If you're on about the War Emergency Guidebook, that was a thing from the Cold War about nuclear war. And again, we don't know what the current government's policy is on nuclear war because nobody has access to it. It's probably everybody fucking dies and they run off to their bunker. Anyway, yep, see you all, have a good day, and yeah, like I said, I'll try and get a video done tomorrow, but at the moment, don't know which one I'll be filming. Alright, do you like it, Mike? My dad quite likes haggis, and I am going off now, but yeah, my dad quite likes haggis as well, but I've only had it once or twice. I didn't dislike it, it's just one of those things that I wouldn't go out my way to buy. Yeah, I know. Like I said, I'm not worried about anything going through the vest, but yeah, you do have to be careful even with those vests on doing that, because yeah, you can hit your chest quite hard, can't you? So yeah, anyway, I'm glad this microphone's worked well. I'll use this on any of the other videos I do with my little various cameras. Because like I said, I can't use this for a webcam one today, but if I'm using this, for example, which is how I do the 4K videos, with that, I can connect these to that as well. So then, you know, I can be a bit further away or whatever, or not have it pointed at me, but still have the microphone pick stuff up quite well. Anyway, yeah, have a good evening, everybody, and I'll see you all when I do a video tomorrow, and I might get a chance to do a stream tomorrow as well. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. And what I'm going to do as well is take the other broken link out, as in the sold out link with the body armors, out of the other video. And if I can find some more listings, I might make some more links just so if people come on those videos, you know, now the links are still valid. Because like I said, the problem is the stab armor at the moment is it's selling out really fast with a lot of the vendors that have it in. Right, yep, see you all, have a good day, and I think the end stream thing's on my phone, isn't it? Yep, right, bye.